What's up, everyone? This is Anthwon Thomas with another podcast episode of High Value Agent, where we inspire people to create a better life through real estate. And joining me today is a great friend of mine, Don Frazier with Responsive Mortgage. Don has been in mortgages for over 30 years. And at this point, he's helped over 1,000 families buy real estate, even more than that, right? And I wanted to bring him on because we're going to dive deep into his growth, the things he's learned over the years of being in mortgages, the power of having a high value financing partner, and then some tips that you can deploy to help more clients at a high level. So, what's up, Don, man? How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great, sir. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's an honor, man. Whenever we can get somebody on the pod that has the amount of knowledge and experience that you have is always an honor because one of the commitments that we've made when creating this podcast was to give as much education available to our industry to make it better, right? So
Absolutely.
it's going to be great to for people to learn from you and for me to learn from you. I get to learn from you every single day, but now we could share this wealth of knowledge that you have with the world. So appreciate you being on, man. So
Absolutely.
let's start here. Let's start with who is Don, right? Let's talk about and you can do this, you can keep it short, like 3 minutes or less. Talk about your background, family upbringing, education, whatever you may be, but kind of let the world know who is Don.
All right. Well, again, my name is Don Frazier. I've been doing mortgage lending now for 30 years. I'm originally from Gary, Indiana, located here to Lafayette to come to Purdue. Love the city, love the environment, love the safeness of it, so I ended up staying here. Um, I have a family, the daughter, my wife, one grandchild as well. Um, Came here, graduated of Purdue as well, so Lafayette is now home.
Yeah,
Um, I love being around this area. Our community is so inviting to all ethnic groups and everything like that. And I just love helping clients become homeowners. That helps to strengthen our community as well.
for sure. I love it. I love it. Gary, Indiana. That's the birthplace of Michael Jackson.
It is.
I don't think a lot of people even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary, Indiana. That's where we're located. That's up north from where Lafayette, Indiana is. So, what is that? About hour and a half away from here?
Yeah, but at least about an hour and a half, a little less. I
Yeah.
actually grew up on Jefferson Street, and the Jackson Five grew up on Jackson Street, which is about 3 blocks over and 1 block up from where I grew up at. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's unpack because obviously you have been in mortgages for 30 plus years. I mean, that is incredible. Like the amount of people that you've helped up to this point, there has to have been some type of through your experience, skills that you've built, things that you've been able to really learn and capitalize on for you to be able to stay in mortgage for this long. Because, I mean, people, if you're not aware, whether you're in real estate as an agent or you're in real estate as in mortgages, I mean, there's a high turnover rate. Like, there's not a lot of agents that stay in the business for 30 plus years, and I don't think there's a lot of loan officers that stay in the game that long either, right?
right.
So for you to stay in the game this long, what would you say your superpower is that allows you to be productive?
Well, the biggest thing is that I listen. So I never make it about myself. I always try to listen to the client and find out what their needs are and what they're looking for. And then I try to give them that at a high level. Another superpower I have is I don't panic. So I'm always calm. I'm always able to think rationally when the pressure's on. And I think that just helps to differentiate me from others in the sense that I'm always looking to see how we can make it work versus the problem that's at hand. So I don't look at the problem, I try to find the solution.
Ooh. Say, hey, y'all, I told y'all, mic drop. Like, I'm telling you right now, get your pen and your notebook ready, okay? And let's appreciate you answering that because Don and I have been working together for 6 years. And before working with Don, I was selling hundreds of homes, and I was working with other financing partners or loan officers. We call them financing partners. And through my journey of working with these other financing partners, I didn't really get a good idea until I met Don what a high value financing partner actually looked like, right? When it comes to, how they think, their processes, their systems, their priorities. So when I met Don, I was blown away because I was like, oh my God, this guy is different. He gets it. We speak the same language. We're client focused, right? It's people over profit. And since then, we've been working together. So now, thank God, I have context as to what a high value financing partner looks like. I want us to, Don, what I want the outcome of this podcast to be is if there is an agent that is looking to partner with a financing partner like you, or if it is you, right? What are those benefits? What should that agent be looking for? Like that's what I want to unpack with you, okay? So we'll start with this question. What are the benefits from your perspective of having a high value financing partner? What are the benefits?
Well, for me, the benefits are you become a client. So not only do we share a mutual client and the customer that we're working for, you as the agent become my client as well. And
Mm,
so for me, I'm looking to work at a high level for you as the agent as well as for the client. And what that means is that I'm going to be taking that extra step in all aspects of the process. So the
mhm,
less I have to have you do as the agent, that I can handle in making this transaction smooth for yourself as well as the client, then I'm going to take those things on because future pacing and educating the client is the best way to handle or have a smooth transaction. So when I educate that agent to let them know how I work, the way I'm going to reach out, my communication level with them, in a lot of ways I find out is different from a lot of the other loan officers and things that do that, in the sense that they're not communicating or future pacing the client as well as the agent on what's
mhm.
next. Where do we go from here? What's going to happen after this? If this happens, what do we do? If this happens, what do we do? And I'm always having a plan A, B, and C. Hopefully, I never get to C, but most of the time, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, A always works out.
So good. You mentioned education and future pacing. So powerful because the quality of the transaction is directly correlated to the quality of the agent and the financing partner. Let me say that one more time.
Please do.
The quality of the transaction is directly correlated to the quality of the agent and the financing partner. How are we defined as high quality or high value? He just said it. Education, reminding, future pacing. In other words, how effective are we in communicating? How effective are we in transferring confidence about the transaction and all the nuances, transferring that confidence and knowledge from us to the client? That's what we get paid for,
Mhm.
period. So I'm glad you brought that up. I want everybody to write this down. ERFF. ERFF. Educate, remind, future pace, feedback. Those are I want to can we unpack that a little more? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
let's unpack that. So when when it comes to the educational piece, here's something that Don, because Don is with Responsive Mortgage. We are our team here locally. We're Silverline Real Estate Group here, and in this partnership, there are certain processes that we follow to make sure that we're providing that exceptional experience. One of the first things we do is we set a consultation to meet with that client in person, if possible, and Don is typically there, whether in person or via phone call or via Zoom. Okay. Don, I want you to share with everyone just doing a consultation to have alignment on the goal. How important is that, you think, for the client and for the agent that's looking to partner with a financing partner? Like, how important is the consultation?
It's very important. I mean, it's the first step that where you're going to make that first impression for the client. It's also where you're going to be able to read the client. You're going to be able to ask direct questions to the client to find out one, what they're looking for, what their goals are, what their budget is. You can talk about how they live their life because everybody's budget may not always include how they live their life. So you have to be conscious of those things and finding out where they're going to be comfortable in getting those things done. In talking about some of the education part of it, it's educating them on what their debt to income ratio means, how debt affects their buying power, their ability to qualify for certain programs, and then that would fit their needs if they're looking to be in a rural area or they're a veteran or they're a conventional buyer. It just gives you that opportunity to build that rapport in a face-to-face situation to where you're going to get comfortable with that client and you give that client enough the ability to get comfortable with you.
So good. Uh oh my God, Don, this is awesome. Like, I said we were going to keep this short and I'm gonna keep my promise, but I'm telling you right now, just based on how this is going, we could be on here for an hour. And we may have to do a part two because I already know that we can unpack so much. All right. So the consultation, right? Everything that you said, boom. So important. How much rapport are we building? How much are we making the client feel at ease? How much is the client actually retaining? Because the reality is, if you're skipping the consultation, or if you as an agent, you're doing the consultation, but you're not having your lending partner there or your financing partner there in person, you're missing the most important part. Okay. People don't know, or people don't care about what you know until they know that you care about them. And when you do the consultation with your financing partner, you're both able to get alignment with the client on their goals and make sure that the client is aware that you guys care. If you're not doing that with your financing partner, you are literally starting your relationship already behind with that client. I mean, seriously, go ahead and prepare to have a rocky transaction. Okay. So, when it comes to the consultation, what are some of the things that you would say is important? And we don't have to get into the specifics of the numbers and all that, right? But when you're talking to a client at the consultation, what's important for you to get across to the client so then when they leave that consultation, like, there's expectations set? Like, what's the main thing that you're trying to establish besides rapport, right?
Besides rapport is budget to make
Okay.
sure that it's realistic. A lot of first time home buyers, a lot of new people to the market, they look at homes and they think, oh, I want that home. But they have no idea the process of what goes into budgeting or qualifying for that home. And they may
Mm,
think that I should be able to afford that home because I pay X amount in rent. But because of the mortgages, we have that thing called debt to income ratio, how much you owe versus how much you make in order to say what you can qualify for, oftentimes is not in a line with what they want or their dreams. So, in
mhm.
finding that information out and then being able to turn it around and make them understand their position without being offensive or without taking away the dream, but allowing them to understand that you still have the dream, it may be at this level versus that level.
That's awesome. Good, good. Powerful, powerful people. Like, consultation wins every time. Get your financing partner there. Make sure the quality of your financing partner is on point. Donna, we're going to get, there's a question I want to ask you about what you're looking for in an agent partner. Like, but before we get there, I want to share with everyone, if you're an agent and you're looking for a financing partner, here are some of the qualities that you want. Okay. And Don, let me know if you agree with this. Number one, they have to have a heart of a teacher. They have to have the heart of a teacher. Okay. They got to be willing to take the time to educate, to make sure that their passion has to be making sure that they're not leaving any type of conversation with the client with that client being confused. They're not afraid to make the phone call or to be in front of the client, because some financing partners want to hide behind the desk. They don't want to get in front of the client, or the client has to come to them into their office, right? Or the client's not available, or the lender's not available on the weekend. So the client can't reach out to them to ask questions. If it were me, I'm not looking for a lending partner that has those type of parameters, right? I want somebody who matches my hustle and who puts the client first and has the heart of a teacher. Don, I want you to add to that. Like what other things would you say if I'm an agent looking for a financing partner, what other things should we be looking for?
Again, you should be looking for someone who's organized, has availability, and that looks at the client more so than just the transaction at hand. So I'm not looking to just get this client into their home. I'm trying to teach them and educate them in ways of budgeting their money, saving their money, how to make different investments, how to get debt paid off, and overall making their life better with the enhancement of buying a home versus them buying a home and then that home becoming a burden to them where
Mm,
they're a slave to just paying the mortgage and their life doesn't get any better. Yes, they went from being a renter to a homeowner, but they're still struggling the same. So I try to add value as far as myself in there in going past the transaction and trying to educate them on things that I see that they may not be practicing in their life that has made my life the way that it is as far as not having to worry about those types of things. So I try to impart any of that information that I have into that client as well, so that that transaction goes smoothly. So and as I said earlier, whereas you as an agent is my client as well, I want you to feel that same thing. So I don't want you to have to call me to say, "Hey Don, what's going on with XYZ client?" I want you to already have gotten that information because of my communication level, because of the way that my company operates and what they will update and send out to the partners of that transaction. I would like for you to be like, if you are calling me, it's just because you haven't heard anything and you've seen all these updates, but you're just still a little worried to make sure that, hey, is everything okay? But if I don't hear from you, then I know I'm doing my job because I know you know what's going on. You're up on everything that's happening, and you have the faith in me that you know we're going to get to that closing table on time.
so good. Um, what are you looking for? Because again, like Don is elite level in his profession. Like this is the best of the best. Okay, I'm not gonna have any. I ain't gonna have any bums on this podcast. I promise you that. So Don is the best of the best. All right, and if you haven't look, responsive mortgage. Okay, I'm representing his company. When it comes down to you finding an agent partner, what are you looking for out of an
I'm,
agent?
I'm looking for the title of your podcast, that high value agent, that agent
Yeah.
that looks at the fact that this is not just their job, this is their profession. And they go about making sure that they're helping people and enhancing their lives. They hustle, they work hard, they have that availability to where Friday at 5 it's not turned off and we don't talk again until Monday because most of the transactions are going to happen through the weekend. Clients are working 9 to 5, so they may not have the ability to get out and see those homes. They may not have the ability to have talked to you through those payment scenarios and things like that on the different properties that they might be interested in. So I want to make sure that all that I'm giving to you as the agent is being returned to me as the lender so that we together can have that seamless transaction, can have those smooth transactions, can continue to build our relationship and our rapport so that we are in turn able to still act on a high level for that client that we have in interest.
So good, y'all. Y'all got to listen to that again, because if you want to attract a high value financing partner, you must first be someone worthy already, you as a professional agent, right? You have to be worthy of that type of partnership, meaning you need to work on you and build yourself up to attract a high value financing partner. I always say this. I think this is a Jim Rohn quote, but I kind of like took it and made it my own in a little way. But um, your level of business will never outpace your level of personal development. So if you want to attract high value clients, high value, if you're looking for a high value spouse, if you're looking for whatever it may be, you need to first become that. Okay. So that was powerful. All right, y'all. Listen, Don is very, very busy, and I promised him we will keep this short. So we're gonna wrap it up with just one more question. So Don, we have up to this point we've been working together for a while, like I mentioned,
Mhm.
and I have the mindset of putting the people that I honor and that are elite at what they do out in front because I know that those people can make a big impact in other people's lives. So could you just let everyone know if you're an agent watching this and they're wanting to meet with you, talk to you, see if maybe you can help their client or maybe you can just help them with some questions and answer some questions. How can people reach out to you?
Well, again, I'm at Responsive Mortgage. So responsivemortgage.com will have all of my information there. Um, I can shoot my email out. We'll have Antoine post that in the comments area to where you can reach me with my email or cell phone. I'd be glad to talk to you. It's all about protecting our reputation in this business. You can go from closing 100 deals a year to closing none based on your reputation. And what's most important is getting to that closing date and getting to that closing date on time while keeping everybody educated on the process of what's going through. So that's what I look for is a client is that agent that's going to compliment me and that is looking to be client first and more about the client and helping them to get to where they want to be, as well as giving them some of the knowledge that you might have that they can take and make their life better. As far as from an agent standpoint, it could be on how they need to help take care of their home to make it more resellable and things like that. From my point, I'm always looking at the numbers and the finance of it and what you can do to better your place. I have clients always asking me, what can I do to be able to buy more?
Mm,
And in simple terms, and not to be rude, is stop spending as much.
yeah,
Spend less, save more. Sometimes you can't make more money, but you can eliminate debt that will allow you to still buy more, or you can save money that will allow you to put down more that could allow you to get to those points. So that's what I look for in an agent, someone that's going to be willing to show up for the client, willing to go the extra mile for the client, that want to make sure they're protecting their reputation and what they're putting out into the market to these people because that's very important to me.
absolutely. Absolutely. We're all connected, right? Your lending partner, your agent partner. I mean, we are all a team. We are all a team and we have to have our values aligned. So if you're out there, don't don't jump to the financing partner or if you're a lender, financing partner, don't jump to the first agent that's like sending you a referral. Don't that's not what make sure their values align with yours, right? Assuming your values are good, right? Make sure that you are aligned there. And just because somebody's willing to contribute financially to market spend, that does not mean they're the right fit for you and the right fit for your clients. Okay. So this goes to both, both sides. It's just making sure and understanding this is a partnership. It's a marriage in a way, and you got to make sure that you are aligned on the mission, on your values. So good stuff.
Absolutely.
Listen, Don you will see more of Don. I promise you this, okay? Because he has too much knowledge. What I want to do in the future, because Don is also very seasoned as an investor as well, right? And he's been doing this. One thing he mentioned earlier when he's talking to a client about budget, he can do that because he lives it. He lives it. He demonstrates it himself. So not only is he helping this client buy a house, he's helping them make right financial healthy decisions, right? And the only way you can really do that is if you're living and breathing that yourself. So you will see more of Don. We won't just talk about financing stuff. We'll talk about even bigger, higher level stuff about if you wanted to invest in properties, what are some approaches to do that, stuff like that. So you will see more of Don. Okay. Hit him up on Facebook. He's on Facebook. We'll make sure we have his information in the description as well. Reach out to Don with any questions that you have. From my standpoint, you know where to find me. I'm on any social media platform, just Anthwon Thomas or High Value Agent. We're everywhere. And again, everything that we talk about, do not just hear this and be like, "Oh, that was cool," and then you don't do anything with it.
Mhm.
Watch this again, take notes, and then take action on the things that you learned today. Okay, and build your business the right way with the right people. So that's all we got. We're gonna put a bow on this one. Don, appreciate you for your time, brother.
Always, sir. I
Y'all take
appreciate you
care.
having me.
Y'all take care. Y'all do the work, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.